Hey, Wavy Seller here, and I've had a question. What is deja vu? So, in our research, we found multiple different theories on what deja vu could be. So, we'll be ranking them to find the most likely one, in our unprofessional opinion, with the Wavy Seller official tournament. Round one is nostalgia versus.
Memory glitch.
All right. Can we just get some clarification on memory glitch?
Yeah, so the memory glitch is just when a person has had an experience already, but they forgot, and so it's just like they're
Got it.
experiencing deja
I see. Okay. So I feel like the memory glitch is a way better option to go up against the other thing. So
yeah.
I feel
Honestly, I think this is, I don't know, it's more descript than nostalgia.
right. Nostalgia. I don't really understand how something like nostalgia can make you have deja vu.
Right.
I think it's more like I get nostalgic smells, like nostalgic
Yeah.
places. It's not really
Not like you're experiencing that thing again,
right.
and you don't understand how because
Right.
you haven't experienced it, right?
All right, let's put yours up on the
Oh,
board.
yeah.
Round two is collective consciousness versus.
Government mind control.
All right, we're gonna need some clarifications on both of these.
Okay, collective consciousness. So with the collective consciousness, it's kind of like how everybody kind of has a similar shared knowledge base on certain things.
Okay.
You know, so it can get pretty deep. Like people will say like, we have like the same kinds of dreams. Like everybody has the same, like the falling dream, for example. You can get pretty deep into it, but then there are just some basic things that
I see.
a lot of people
just like it's
know.
just wired into your brain.
Right. Also, like pop culture. You
Right.
have like a collective understanding of a pop culture within your culture.
Okay.
Things that like everybody's seen.
Yeah, that's pretty strong.
Some people believe that all of our consciousnesses are actually linked together, like through energy. You know.
All right. So let's hear about the government mind control.
First of all, you have MK Ultra.
Yeah.
From the 70s, where they were trying to use psychedelics like LSD to see if they could control people's minds without their permission, mind you. And then there was the Epstein files,
Right.
which they did discuss that they were trying to experiment with ways of mind control.
Yeah. So I think that the collective consciousness is kind of like a better idea, but yours is more fun.
Yeah, this is definitely more fun.
So I kind of, if we tap into the conspiracy theorists,
Yes.
yours is way more fun.
Yeah, I think this is a fun one.
Yeah. I mean,
there's an argument to be made that mind control could make deja vu more prevalent. Of course, we don't have any data on that, but like, if you think about like the way that our minds are manipulated through media and like our phones, not to sound like I have a tinfoil hat on, but it is true that like social media polarizes you, like the algorithm, targets you and can kind of increase your emotional state or like change your emotional state and change your attention span. So maybe that's an argument to be made that maybe it's not the whole thing, but maybe it's part of it. But then collective consciousness, if you think that all of our minds are kind of related in some way, or we kind of have shared experiences that repeat,
I mean, maybe government mind control isn't just chemicals in the water. It could be through media.
It could be through, honestly,
propaganda.
I kind of want to think about, so I want to leave this in the past because it's saying like everybody's minds are connected.
Which I think, honestly, this is more likely. You know, I mean, you go on.
There's more of like the same. So you're telling me like I could have the same mind as like Ted Bundy? You know, like
right.
I don't think like that. So
Okay.
I mean, I know that's
Sure.
I could, huh? But I think just to make this interesting, I think we should put yours up on the
let's do
bracket.
that. I'm gonna do that.
Round 3 is going to be spirits.
Psychic abilities.
Oh, together. That's good.
That is a good one.
All right. So I'm going to assume with spirits, it means that the spirits are like talking to you and telling you like to get out of that situation.
Yeah.
Like, what is there anything under that?
Method of like the spirit communicating with you. That feeling is a method of the spirit communicating.
I like that one. I do like that one, but let's hear psychic abilities.
Psychic abilities. So if you are like, let's say you see the future, you're like you're clairvoyant or something. When you're experiencing deja vu, you're actually seeing the future.
Okay.
That's the idea behind that.
These both go hand in hand.
Right, and I gotta say, the psychic abilities is making me go back to collective consciousness.
Yeah.
Because that's saying like everybody
This
who
is
has
a little
everyone
woo-hoo,
who has suffered with deja vu, they all have psychic abilities. Like, I think almost everybody's gone through deja vu.
Yeah.
So does that mean I'm psychic?
Yeah.
She says I might be.
Yeah. Well.
But, you know, no, I'm not.
I
think spirits are gonna go
you
up.
know what?
All right. Round 4 is reincarnation versus
Pollution.
Oh God. Okay, okay, reincarnation. I'm assuming we're talking about you are seeing your past life memories. I got to hear what the pollution one is.
I feel like I accidentally told this one earlier. There's chemicals in the water.
That's right.
Right.
That
yeah,
could be.
pollution-
That
Could be in it, unintentional chemicals in the water for this one. You know.
Yeah,
So,
it's
yeah.
the idea that like air pollution and water pollution, any type of pollution is like just kind of messing with our brains.
So how does that make us, feel like we've seen something before? I just don't.
I can't even justify.
I mean, I could see like maybe chemicals, make your mind go crazy, but like, making you remember things that didn't happen. Maybe, I don't know.
Pollution
Maybe.
is a crazy pool. I mean, that has got to be one of the strangest theories that I've heard out there, dude.
Specifically for deja vu.
Yeah, for
There's
deja
definitely
vu.
pollution.
This is the deja vu video.
This is a deja vu video.
So
yeah.
I hope you guys know that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, they don't. But.
All right.
It doesn't say it back there.
Reincarnation is the winner. And for bracket 5, we have the Mandela effect versus
Mental health.
Got it. All right, let's get some examples of the Mandela effect. We all know about, Pikachu's tail.
Yeah, that's
You know.
example. Fruit of the loom cornucopia.
That's right. I'm convinced that one's been there.
I
There's always
swear
been-
I have.
I have seen that.
shirts
That
that
ties
have.
into the mind control also. That was part of the whole
Right.
Well, that's why it's
Right.
up.
mind control thing.
That's why.
It
why
is
it's
up
in the
there.
bracket.
It's up there. Wait.
Just wanted to see how much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it is
there.
up there.
Yeah.
It is
how
up there.
much they could mess with people.
Yeah, a Mandela effect is a really fun one. I think in the future we should do a video about it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
And,
like the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah, like things being spelled wrong. That's,
Yeah, everything. It's could be my dyslexia, but
Yeah, you are dyslexic.
I am.
Yeah.
So
unfortunate.
let's hear about. I mean, mental health is pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that
speaking of
Yeah.
dyslexia,
right?
And stress is part of it also. Like people that get seizures have a tendency to experience it more, or people that have migraines. And so an increase of stress increases your likelihood of having a migraine or having a seizure. So it stands to reason that maybe if you are having difficulties with your mental health. Even like your memory is affected by stress and everything.
So yeah, I can say this for I think everyone here. We've all had pretty rough times in our life with mental health, and I never have felt an influx of like deja vu when that's happened.
Yeah.
It is a good theory. I feel like the Mandela effect is a lot, like, it's more of an interesting topic that would possibly be a part of deja vu. But what do you think?
I think I can agree with that.
You agree?
Yeah.
All right. Mandela effect's going up. Bracket 6 is going to be false memory versus
Time loop.
Ooh, okay. Let's hear about false memories.
So one example is when you think you remember something a family member has described to you many times, but you were never there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then another example is when people get interrogated and they experience like sleep deprivation, repetition, hunger, and like leading questions. Some people start to develop false memories of committing a crime. Because the goal of interrogation is to get you to admit that you did it.
Right.
So they will appeal, try to find reasons, repeat the same questions over and over again.
This is a good one.
Yeah, I think that one's...
I mean, let's go time loop.
Yeah, what's our definition for time loop? Obviously,
it's pretty explanatory.
It's a pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, that one is just like, you're just, time is repeating itself. So, you're literally experiencing the same thing again.
Right. And that's pretty good.
It's good, but I think it's a little bit of a theory.
An unlikely phenomenon.
Right.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Now, false memory is something that's happened a lot in my family. Like,
I feel like that's probably the most likely out of
this could be the dark horse, This could be the winner, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
False memories going up into the bowl. Now to the official brackets. We're going to have message from God or a deity versus memory glitch. So, yeah, let's hear about that. I mean,
it's similar to messages from a spirit. It's just, in this case, it's for like a message from God or
divine intervention.
A divine intervention.
That is this one. I almost like that as much as spirits.
I think that's super interesting.
It is a really interesting, it's a warning.
Yeah.
Versus memory glitch, which is, can you explain that to us again?
Yeah. Memory glitch, you just forgot that something happened.
Just like now. Now that, I feel, deja vu. Oh, no.
And you're experiencing it again. You just forgot that you had that experience before, so it feels weird.
Okay, yeah, that didn't feel weird, though. So, I mean, that
one's cooler.
This one is a cooler one. And
for that alone,
since it's
I think that goes up on the board.
Since it's the spirits, it's going to go up. All right, that's the winner. Ethan, can you explain what word this means? What is this? How do you say that? Epigenetics. Okay, so epigenetics versus
development.
Okay, that's very vague. These are development. All right.
Thanks, Ethan.
So, thank you, Ethan. Very wise. He's such a cool dude.
He's such a wise guy.
I know. All right.
These are kind of fun to go together because so epigenetics. So we know that fear and trauma can be passed down through genetic coding. For example, you may have never had a bad experience with a snake, but if you go to, up against the glass and there's a snake that jumps at you, like at the zoo or something, you're probably going to flinch.
Right.
That's epigenetics.
So yeah, development, like, What about that?
Development. So that card's a little vague, but what we're talking about is human development. Like, so most people experience déjà vu in their teens and their early 20s, and then the experiences start to taper off as people get older, and they don't start until you're about like 8. So the idea is that just the developmental process, the biological process of growing up and developing causes déjà vu, causes the feeling of déjà vu. Yeah.
I think I like that explanation more than the epigenetics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the epigenetics also is a little bit like what we're kind of assuming with the epigenetics is that somehow your parent or like your ancestor or family member experienced something, and somehow that memory got genetically passed to you.
Now that's cool.
It's like embedded in your
Right.
DNA.
Okay.
That sounds cool.
Really
That sounds cool.
That does sound cool.
That one sounds a little sad.
Yeah, I like that one more.
Yeah, we're going back to this. Thank you, Ethan. Next bracket, different dimensions versus government mind control. Now that.
How did these two end up together?
I know. This is going to be interesting. So, is there any explanation for different dimensions, or is this just more like self-explanatory?
That's a little bit self-explanatory, but if
Yeah.
you don't know, there's a theory. If you've ever seen Marvel or Spider-Man,
Right.
There's you go through and there's different versions of our same reality
Right.
throughout, space and time.
Right.
And the idea is that maybe you are moving through that different dimension.
Yeah.
And experiencing the same thing.
And there could be two Erics.
There could be
a different dimension where we hate each other.
Maybe in a
Or
different
maybe
dimension, my name isn't even Eric.
Right. That's true. I've always felt like I was an Aaron, but I don't know. Yeah.
Or maybe another theory with that one is that maybe the version of you in the other dimension has a memory, and now you're experiencing that memory, and somehow.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you hear that, Eric?
Eric needs to compose himself.
All right. Well, we need a second.
You gotta put that little.
No, I'm good.
stab
Okay.
to- Please stand by.
Okay. So, different dimensions is a really cool topic. You can't keep doing it like Marvel has, but where a different dimension has a memory and now we have that memory is super cool. But against government mind control, what are you thinking?
Yeah, that one.
I think government mind control is more realistic. I mean.
No,
One is theoretical, okay, because that's like theoretical physics.
and that's not.
Well, it's all theoretical. But this is like theoretical physics, and yours is like we have evidence of MK Ultra.
Right, that's true. That did happen. So, yeah. It's just this is such a cool idea.
It is a really cool idea. But are we doing for cool idea, or are we doing for
That's
what we
right.
think is more likely?
That's right.
I think let's go government mind control.
Yep. Government mind control wins. All right, next on the bracket is spirits versus
spiritual psychosis.
Whoa! Psychic abilities versus spirits. Spirits versus.
Spiritual psychosis.
That's crazy.
How did that happen? All right.
The spirits. I think that was a cow, honestly. There is cows up there. Okay.
Anyways,
so
back to this.
So this is basically spirits, So if you pick spirit, you're under the impression that spirits really exist and they're really sending messages to you. Okay. Spiritual psychosis would be more like, there's some examples of it in like pop culture with like the star seeds, like people starting to believe that they're actually aliens from another planet and they're like, you know,
I see.
descended from them. Or it could be that like you really think you're being haunted by a ghost or a spirit, or that you're possessed by a ghost or a spirit, but in reality, you're just experiencing delusions.
Ah, yeah. I mean,
But I don't know how much that has to do with déjà vu itself. I mean,
right. So
I like
mean,
spirits more.
yeah, this is a lot coming from us because we are mostly skeptics. I mean, I love dabbling in the spiritual world. I like the idea of it, but I've never really felt like, wow, I believe
Definitely real. Yeah.
Right. So that is it's a big thing for us because, you know, spirits is going up.
So the next bracket is drugs
versus reincarnation. Okay.
It's drugs.
Drugs are very explanatory.
But I mean, not going to go there.
So going back to the psychosis idea, right?
Okay.
Drugs can kind of facilitate or encourage delusions or psychosis. So, like, there was a story on Reddit. A guy was posting multiple times, I saw during my research, where he was saying he's basically experiencing Groundhog Day. He's having the same experience over and over and over again, doing the same things every single day, and he just can't escape. But he explicitly said that he was smoking marijuana.
Got it.
So there's that too.
Not that that's a hallucinogenic drug, but
sometimes it can tap into what you've already had.
I guess that's true.
Like mental health wise.
It does. If you're predisposed to getting schizophrenia, there is some evidence that it can kind of be a triggering force. But yeah, I also wanted to add with the spiritual psychosis. It is more than just like believing that you're an alien. People believe that they can heal themselves with their thoughts.
Oh.
You know, like that they flushed out a kidney infection just by thinking, like manifesting it.
Got
or
it.
They believe that they can transport themselves into like literally the world of Harry Potter if they like meditate and like manifest.
I mean, that is a really cool idea, but just with my personal opinion, this is a Wavy Seller personal opinion. I do not think that's how that works. And you do you, boo.
You're right.
But it's not really. I don't really believe in that.
But going back to the drugs.
Drugs versus reincarnation, which we've already talked about.
I think this is definitely more likely. Not that this is the only cause of deja vu, though.
Right.
And this is with your memories too,
Yeah.
because if
Right.
you drink alcohol, even something like
Correct.
legal and widely used
Yeah.
like alcohol, you might have an experience, but your memory and judgment is all messed up.
Yeah.
So you might
And
I mean, you may wake up the next morning and remember
Look,
bits and pieces.
right.
of-
What's the cap on drugs? Because you could have taken a lot of like melatonin
That's true.
and have like really
Like-
vivid dreams that you thought that was actually happening, but it never did. Yeah, drugs is definitely more realistic. So drugs is going back up.
Yeah, it's going up there.
Unrecalled dreams versus.
Intuition.
Ooh. Okay. So I'm assuming unrecalled dreams is when you sleep. Like this happens to me all the time. I'm sleeping and most people dream, but I don't dream, but supposedly you always dream. It's just you forget about it. So in a dream, your mind has it in its subconscious and you dreamed about that certain place and you're there, which I've heard a lot of people talk about deja vu and talk about unrecalled dreams. And I do think that's a really cool idea. And intuition
What do you mean by intuition?
I mean, Yeah, I'll let you talk.
Like, like a feeling that something is going to happen. Like, you've maybe heard of like moms saying like they can just look at someone and like know, like they just get a bad feeling.
These are, I mean, I think these go hand in hand because it could just be your intuition being like, this is a bad area. So I'm gonna kind of like it, kind of make up.
You
that you've been there
link things that
before.
never happened.
Right.
That can
Which
be
I think
kind
is
of
really
like false
common.
memories.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Or even the epigenetics.
I think this could be a huge thing. Not that deja vu always happens when something bad's happening. It could be picking up a remote and you remember picking that up before, and it's like.
Right. And this one is a really cool idea to me, just because, like, when I've experienced deja vu, this kind of is a cool explanation of what I've experienced. But I think
that's the craziest instance of deja vu too, because when you have a dream and then you're experiencing it in real life.
Yeah.
Although I feel like that is extremely likely, because I feel like I've known a lot of stories where I dreamt about it the night before, and then the next morning that same thing happened.
I feel like
intuition should go under another umbrella.
Yeah,
Maybe it's not a deja vu thing. Maybe it's just your brain absorbs way more information than you realize.
Right.
And you just have a feeling. But to feel like you've already had that experience, I think a dream makes more sense.
Yeah, and it's kind of an upset because we were kind of hitting towards this one, but I think this one's going to win.
The next one is temporal lobe seizures
versus the Mandela effect. Okay.
I'm told it's not just normal seizures, though.
No, it's not.
No.
Apparently.
Yeah. Let's hear about the...
So...
I'm going to feel bad if this is like a disability or something.
Well, deja vu can be a disability if it is really severe and constant, and like you just can't stop it, like having that. It can be unpleasant. However, what I'm looking for, okay, so temporal lobe seizures, seizures can happen just like in specific parts of your body, and seizures can present in a lot of different ways. Like we talked about that dream where you feel like you're falling before, that's a seizure. It's just like electrical activity in your brain kind of going wonky, for lack of a better term. Like wires crossing, and it's just causing involuntary movement. So it could be something like your eye twitching, right? So when I say so a lot of people, when they think of a seizure, they think of like a grand, like I think it's called like, grand mal seizure or something.
Right, that's where like the whole body is convulsing.
Yeah, the whole body is convulsing. Sometimes it can just be a little part of your body. So you could have just a little electrical activity going on in your temporal lobe, which is right here. Under your brain.
See, I feel like that could definitely be a cause of deja vu, but as someone that doesn't have that and has had deja vu before, I don't think that's the main reason.
True. If you don't have epilepsy and you've had deja vu.
And I feel like we're kind of going for the main thing. Not that this isn't likely, and I'm sure it can happen.
Yeah, I think the Mandela effect
issue, but I think that's definitely more likely as a broad kind of.
Yeah, it's a lot of theory. It's a theory that a lot of people like.
Yeah,
and
have experienced.
To include that people that have seizures frequently, like before you experience a migraine or a seizure, you'll have like an aura. You can feel it coming on. And that's when they say they experience the deja vu.
That is a really cool, not cool.
But it's probably just because they've had this feeling before.
In a situation, they're remembering that situation. Yeah, I feel like that's a more literal sense of deja vu.
Yeah. All right, I think Mandela effect's going up.
I agree. The next one is false memory
versus delayed brain waves. So let's hear about that.
What does that mean?
Delayed brain waves. Okay, so with delayed brain waves, we're talking about delayed communication between neurons.
It's scientific.
Yeah.
So, and we could also be talking about different hemispheres of your brain processing something, and then the other part doesn't process it.
So maybe it is something
that
like
you're experiencing it again because
Yeah.
there's a delayed process there.
Oh.
Which again, I think that's more of a literal, very rare case of deja vu.
Could be. I'll give some examples though, so we can make sure we fully grasp. So like if someone has like the middle part of their brain severed, which again, you know, I'm assuming
Severed or
we don't.
damaged.
I don't
we don't
think I
have
do.
that.
Or
No,
damaged.
I don't think so.
You can have like one side of your brain process something and not communicate with the other side, and it'll affect like your language and speech. You might have like something processed subconsciously and then your body reacts to it. One really good example of this is if your occipital nerve is damaged or severed, and that is the one that helps you see and process what you're seeing. You can kind of see without knowing what you're seeing. So like your eyes might still work, but you don't know what, you can't interpret, you can't create an image. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
But somehow your brain still knows. So you can maneuver between obstacles, you can react to facial expressions without knowing really why.
Yeah,
and
and
that's a unique situation.
That's very interesting that people experience. That could be an example of deja vu, but I do think that the false memory is gonna beat that. Just as a.
I will say, I wonder if that could happen on a smaller scale. You know, like if maybe we don't have whole hemispheres of our brain cut off from one another or severed or damaged, but maybe it's just like, you know, the neurons are a little slow for whatever reason.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting topic, but I think false memory is going up.
Yeah, I think that's definitely more likely.
All right, so the next one is messages from God or a deity versus epigenetics.
Epigenetics.
Sorry, Ethan.
Ethan literally kind of told you.
But okay. So, as I remember, I feel like the epigenetics is way more likely than a message from God or a deity.
Okay.
But I do really like the idea of a higher power warning you before you go in that situation with just like a deja vu moment. So, what do you think?
Honestly, I think a message from God is more interesting, and you know, who knows?
I think epigenetics is more realistic.
Okay.
Yeah. So
we have evidence of epigenetics.
I mean, I guess if we're going for more likeliness than coolness, I think it's more likely. Yeah, epigenetics is more likely.
It's more likely. We still have spirits, so I think that one we can probably bring up epigenetics and keep that one down there.
Yeah, especially since it's more likely.
Right, and spirits is going to have a really hard time next time, but I think we're going to move up epigenetics.
And speaking of spirits versus government mind control.
Ooh, now that is a good thing. As we can say, the deity and the God thing is more of a belief than it is a factual thing, and same with the government mind control.
Yeah, it's definitely a conspiracy.
There are some evidence of people in power talking about things like that, and
again, we might not be talking about like, you know, chemicals controlling your brain. It could be more like the media or propaganda swaying you, and you know, maybe makes you think something did happen that didn't happen.
Yeah, and that's
that
happened.
Feeling of deja vu, and that's definitely happened.
That has definitely happened recently. I mean, through the years, and I really, like I said, I love the idea about the spirits warning you of something by showing you where and giving you deja vu. But I think just just because I think we might have to go with the government mind control.
Yeah, I think it's definitely more likely.
It-
The next one is drugs versus unrecalled dreams.
Now, I remember really liking the unrecalled dreams.
Yeah, I think that could be really likely.
Yeah, I honestly, not everybody does drugs,
Yeah,
but
definitely
everybody
not
has
everyone
dreams.
And most people have experienced deja vu.
So,
At least once.
At least once in their
Even
life.
if you haven't done drugs.
Yeah, so I'm honestly, quick round.
It's unrecalled dreams.
It's unrecalled
It's
dreams.
already decided. We're losing light.
Next is the Mandela effect versus the false memories. So, yeah, Mandela effect is almost universal. A lot of people have experienced that.
Yeah.
Same with deja vu.
But I feel like the same thing could be said about false memory. Maybe even deja vu itself is a false memory.
That's
I mean,
true. That could
I
be
think
the
by
winner.
definition, it is literally a false memory.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to go with false memory. Up next is Ethan's word versus government mind control. Okay, so epigenetics versus that. Okay.
Yeah.
And
And I think government mind control again. It could be really likely.
it's, I mean, I have to say, it is so much more of a it's fun to go up there. You know, it's fun. It's not fun if it happened to us, but
Of course not.
it is a theory that some conspiracy theorists have been.
If it happened to us, if we're not all controlled by the government.
What are you saying?
Okay, so
Talk about a universal experience.
I feel that a lot of conspiracy theorists have been talking about this for years, and just the fact that
And maybe
More-
deja vu is the smallest part about this theory.
right, and just the fact that so many people have talked about it, and we learn years later that it's true. Some of it's true. Is a very
Yeah.
crazy idea.
But epigenetics is equally as plausible.
That's right. It really is. I mean, the scientific studies versus conspiracies. Now, this is a.
I want you guys to break down which one makes more sense in the context of deja vu.
I think
So,
epigenetics
focus
makes
it
more
in.
sense
You're right.
specifically
In deja vu,
deja vu.
yeah, government mind control has one up against
Too much. to be
too
honest.
much to be honest.
Yeah.
But it did correlate better than the others because there are things. But this for sure is going to the finals. The epigenetics
Yeah.
is going to the finals. So our next bracket is unrecalled dreams versus
False memories.
memories. So I like the idea of false memories because I grew up with a big family, and a lot of time they tell a story so many times that it just grinds in my head, and it feels like a lot of my siblings have thought that they were there in a memory that I've just told,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't. But people all around the world have deja vu, and a lot of people don't have big families. They have just a system where some people just truly like to be alone, and they experience deja vu. So that false memory idea is kind of doesn't share what the rest of the world has, which is dreams. The rest of the world, everybody dreams. So I feel like that is a better idea of deja vu than false memory, even though false memory was my dark horse. But
I think unrecalled dreams is probably more likely.
I think that's more likely.
I mean, you could dream anything and
it
you
is
feel like you're
it's
doing it again.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool idea too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
All right, now on to the finals. It is epigenetics versus...
Unrecalled dreams. Again.
Now, I kind of have a winner in my mind, but I want to hear the sides of both people. What do you think is the better of the two?
What do you think?
I think we all have genetics, and we all have dreams. It's really hard. It's really hard because whenever I've personally experienced deja vu, it's usually been a dream. So it's usually been I
feel
dream
like-
about something.
Yeah, most of the time
I
with
think-
deja vu stories, it's been a dream that someone had, and they wake up, and either that day it happens exactly how it did in the dream, and
Right.
that's just such a weird feeling.
And with the epigenetics, it is a really cool idea that it's from your ancestors going through your DNA like that, and you experiencing stuff like that. But I think all of us here agree that the winner is unrecalled dreams.
Yeah, it's unrecalled dreams.
With the epigenetics, right?
Mhm.
It is a cool idea, but if you have a deja vu experience with something that has to do with modern technology,
Right.
Right. I think that's kind of where
That's the
epigenetics
biggest thing.
falls.
Yeah.
Is how, how
Yeah.
do I remember my bedroom in a deja vu
And
experience?
Yeah, I think the right side of the board was way tougher decisions than the left, because I do personally think that if false memories was on the left side, it would be false memories versus
Oh yeah.
unrecalled dreams.
Yeah.
But that's the winner.
That is the winner.
Unrecalled dreams is the most
going.
likely culprit.
It's going right here.
Yep.
I covered up winner, but that's because it is the winner.
The most likely culprit of deja vu. So,